Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Marik, and this is the definitive guide for Right Twix versus Left Twix. The battle is coming to an end, finally, at least for me. So, here in the definitive guide kitchen, we have done some tests, some experiments, and finally we'll conclude it with a taste test. Just an all-around definitive guide to the foods or candy items in question. Please don't eat candy like food. That is just not a good practice. So, we've had our definitive guide kitchen guy come in, and well, it was me. But I did some things. So you'll see that in a second.
Crunchability test. Here we go. So, the crunchability test. Yes, this is the left Twix, as you can see we'll be doing first. The crunchability test is designed to test the overall strength of the cookie on the inside of the Twix bar. Therefore, determining the strength of the cookie, we can determine the crunchability of the cookie in your mouth. How crunchy the cookie can be, we shall see. So, 3 for the left Twix. The hammer blows. I tried very hard not to apply any force to the hammer. I just tried to let it drop as naturally as I could. I guided the hammer with my hand, so there's that. Otherwise, the hammer just would have gone all over the place. So here's now the right Twix. I showed it to you twice for some reason, and here we go. 1, 2, there it explodes. Point going to the left Twix for overall crunchability. Yes, okay, yes, 2. There's another camera over there. We should use it for this test, and I was unaware of that at the time, even though I was the one recording things. Snappability, here we go. So, snappability. This test was not designed for cookie strength. This test was designed for caramel strength, actually. As you'll see here in a second, we crack the cookie, and the caramel stretches beyond the 2 pieces. The left did break, but I did stretch it a little bit further than I did the right, and I will admit that now. So this was to view the overall strength and gooiness of the caramel inside of the Twix. I would give these a tie, as I assume they use the same caramel. Moving on, droppability now. So, droppability. That was sort of a drop test, but so I drop it from much higher. This was to see the overall durability of the cookie as a whole. I was trying to simulate situations where the 5-second rule would be in place, or where you would be dropping a pack of these for whatever reason from a vending machine or whatnot and what have you. Now, the 2 pieces you see here, I'll compare them in a moment. They're relatively unharmed. There's a small circle where they fell and hit the table. These 2 pieces are very similar in appearance, but then upon further inspection, you'll see that the left Twix, the additional one that I did not use in this test, is intact in one whole piece. There's nothing wrong with it. I'll just get to it eventually. Here I go. So then the right Twix, the additional one, had a crack along the top of it, existing already. I don't know if that's from me dropping it on the table initially. I just didn't notice, or if that was already like that in the package. So there's a point away from the right Twix on overall durability of the cookie, but I'm not sure where that thing came from. The backpack test. The test before this inspired the backpack test. The cookie found with the cookie found with the crack in it, I should say, inspired this. So we took a pack of regular Twix, 1 left, 1 right, as I will point out here in a sec. And the pack is sealed, so there's been no contamination of the subjects in this one. So left is white, right is red. We stole this backpack from a local 9-year-old we found at a bus stop. He was relatively upset about it, but we will leave it there tonight so he can find it in the morning. And it was a train wreck on the inside, so that further helps. So I tried to simulate the day-to-day activities of a 9-year-old and his backpack, so here we go. Kids are weird. They hang all over the place. And to my surprise, this child had some green beans, which is good, you know, for him, because that's not really a thing a lot of kids eat anymore. So good job, kid. Anyway, so then I decided to not take this phone call. Sorry. Anyway, so hammer time. I'm not sure what I thought children would be doing with a hammer, but I tried to simulate a 9-year-old adventurous type of spirit, I guess. Anyway, so here's the Twix. Dropped it again for further experimentation, because children and clumsiness and all that. So left is on the left, right is on the right. Yeah, thank you, me, for pointing that out. So here we go. Here's the left, relatively unscathed, as it were. And here's the right, also relatively unscathed. But I did notice 3 rings along the length of it. I'm not sure. Yes, we won't be able to see them on camera. I tried, though. There are 3 rings along the right Twix that looked as if they were weak. So here in a sec, I will bend them. There they go. And the Twix breaks along the middle ring. And then here it'll break along the top ring. As the left Twix, I bend it, and it just generally bends along the entire length. So right Twix loses another point.
So, to this point, we've tested crunchability, durability, snappability, and other abilities that I haven't named or thought of. Droppability was one. We had to throw that one away, sadly. 5-second rule was violated, so that was my bad. Anyway, so, down to the final test. On my left, we have left Twix. On my right, we have right Twix. And a glass of water and a palate cleanse my palate for in between. So no residue from the other will be in there to confuse me, which is very easily achieved. So, here we go. Without further ado, here's left Twix going into the mouth of... Oh, it's going in my mouth. The cookie in the left Twix is it's crunchy. It's got some give to it, but that could just be the chocolate surrounding it, and the caramel or caramel, depending on if you're right or wrong, adds its own squishiness, give to the whole effect. All in all, the chocolate's very lovely. All in all, it's decent, it's solid. The caramel, it seemed to overcome most of it toward the end there. It was really chewy throughout the whole thing, the whole experience, but it was pleasurable as sugar is a drug. So, now, I don't know. I can't contaminate my mouth. Those crumbs, I don't know where they're from. So I'm going to cleanse my palate now. We're going to transition over to right Twix. A little more. refreshing as always. Tap water, get grog. At least in my part of America, there's, yeah, Anyway, so there's a taste left over after cleansing the first time. There was some chocolate left over, so I don't know if that's exclusive to Twix left. We'll find out. Let's go to the right, shall we? Okay, right away I noticed some things. Yeah, the bottom of... I don't know if you could... Well... So the bottoms of the Twix... Hold on a sec. Yeah, there's an end where there's not as much chocolate. The chocolate is as thick. You can see the cookie through. I didn't notice that so much on the left Twix right away as this one. It is slightly apparent there on the left there. Whereas the right has more of a two-gash system going on, I guess. I don't know how you would... So maybe this one as well. This one's very noticeable as well. Also, I think Right Twix kind of chinsed out on the chocolate there. Displacement. I may have eaten the end of the left that had that, so definitely point to the left, though, for that. Chocolate distribution more even, I would see. It would appear I did eat that end without... But I didn't notice it. I did look first, I believe. So... Anyway, going in Right Twix. Here we go. Gonna eat some yummy, hopefully. So right away, I noticed with the left Twix, the cookie, at first, the first bite into the chocolate, into the bar itself, was more robust and more just, you knew you were eating a cookie and then you got caramel, and the chocolate is, obviously the first thing you taste, but the cookie was definitely predominant in flavor for a while and then transitioned to caramel. Or caramel. This one, the cookie, it was there, but it wasn't as predominant. When I bit into it, I just kind of went straight through the cookie and right into the caramel. So that's interesting. The caramel is definitely the predominant factor there. Another thing is the caramel in this one seemed to be chewier for longer. Whereas with this one, I think it may have just been the cookie with the left overtaking the caramel for a while, but the caramel in the right was significantly more chewy and more predominant in flavor and in texture. So there's that. I'm gonna do the same test here with the water. I'm gonna cleanse my palate. I'm gonna kind of jump back and forth between the remaining two. We'll see where it goes from there. Yes, there was no. The flavor seemed to go away relatively quickly compared to the left, where the left took two cleansings with my cleansing stein here. The right kind of went away right away. It's that's interesting. So I'm going to go to the two remaining. A quick note. Between the left and the right Twix. Right away, just in the shopping process, finding the left Twix was significantly harder than finding the right Twix. I went to 3 stores. 2 of those stores did not have any left Twix, like marked left Twix. They had just the plain Jade Twix with the 4 bars and left and right, I presume. It's not marked, but the ones that were marked specifically right were everywhere, and the ones that were marked specifically left, I did find one at one store. So as far as availability goes, left. I don't know if left loses a point or gets a point, because I'm not sure if it was an availability issue on the Twix part or on people liking left more. It's so if the latter is the case, then left gets a point because people like it more. Just generally, it was harder to find. But if Twix is putting out a disproportionate amount to regions of right and left, then that's, you can't really go too much off of that. But it's impossible to say. I reached out to Twix and have yet heard anything about their distribution. They have made no comments. Let's put it that way. So let's go left and right, shall we? The remaining, I'm just going to bounce back and forth with cleansing involved. I just want to see if consistently what I found texture is good, consistent. Obviously, that's what I was going. Okay, so here's left again. Again, look at the crumbs. I don't know if you can see the crumbs. It crumbled as I... Why did that stop? Oh. Technical issues. So, sorry, technical issues. Resuming. So, the left again, this one consistently had more cookie. And as I placed it down, cookie ejected itself from the left. It seemed to have gone off to the table. I'm not sure if you can see that from that far away, but that happened. So more cookie again in both of these. The cookie was predominant at the beginning, and then it transitioned into the caramel. So we'll try this one right again. The second right one. Right away, the cookie, it non-existent. It was there for a moment, and you could hear it, or I could hear it anyway. It's in my own head. I should be able to hear it. Anyway, so the cookie was there, consistently loud and crunchy in my ears, but not so much in my mouth, on my tongue. I could. There was no. It wasn't there. I don't know where it went. It disappeared. This one, cookie was everywhere. Left, right, center. Bouncing around, I could feel it on my teeth being crunched. I could feel it banging onto my tongue and just going all over the place as I was crumbling it more and more, which eventually pulverized it into fine powder, which layered the caramel. This one just kind of... The caramel and the chocolate are consistent between both. The flavor and texture is definitely the same. They must use the same chocolate, is what I would guess. It'd be silly not to. Same with the caramel. But apparently they have differing opinions on cookies because the left has been consistently more just everything, really. There's more cookie there. It's more enjoyable for me. As the cookie adds crunch where there is none. And on the right, it adds the sound of crunch. But there really isn't. It's just, I don't even know. It's magic. I'm going to give a point to right for their magic because that's impressive. Honestly, I don't know how you do that. If you could replicate that in any other fashion, it could save millions on, like, caps getting knocked out of teeth for, really hard peanuts or whatever. Like, people who like that crunch. Just, the sound is satisfying, but there's no cookie. There's no crunch. So, there are some crumbs. So if you don't mind, I'm going to finish my left. I give it to Left Twix. All around, they have shown consistent crunchiness, consistent, candy-like features, whereas the right has also had those features, but it's the cookie that really solidifies this competition and where it ends. Now, if you could make some kind of Super Twix as I have just done, not that hard. You could start this from one end and move transition to the other end, where you would get lots of crunch to no crunch, or no crunch to lots of crunch. That could be a thing. Hey, Twix. But for right now, this chocolate is very good. Yeah. So left Twix, you've got it, in my opinion, and now you know the definitive guide. I mean, it's all here. So thank you for tuning in, and again. Left Twix, get Left Twix out in the world some more, please. Just stop production on Right Twix, transition to Left Twix, and then you don't even have to mention anything. Right didn't lose. You solved your problems. And just go back to the regular package. You gotta be happy. So thank you, and for tuning in, and thank you Twix for putting out a great product that I could totally shove in my face so much more. So I will do that and enjoy that. So thank you again. I've been Marik Zakarian, your host, and these have been this feature has been Left Twix versus Right Twix, the definitive guide. So, you're welcome. Bye.